The Walk to End Alzheimer's returns to Pittsburgh. I'm Zach Dodge with the goal behind the walk and why it's significant to some area residents. Coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Mike Mahoney. Plenty of 4-staters participated in the Walk to End Alzheimer's in Pittsburgh today. KOAM's Zach Dodge was there and he files this report.
Purple flowers spin in the breeze, and the people who hold them have a story to tell.
2 years ago, I lost my brother-in-law to Alzheimer's.
My grandma passed from it, and my aunt currently is suffering from it.
1 in 3 people over the age of 83 will be affected by Alzheimer's. So SEK is trying to do something about it. The Alzheimer's Association's Walk to End Alzheimer's returns to Pittsburgh after an in-person hiatus last year, and it was to a big crowd, full of enthusiastic people like Christy Bolden, who are ready to raise awareness.
To bring that awareness to people that have never had to experience it, and bless them, I'm glad they don't. But for those that have, that there is support out there.
The Alzheimer's Association, a nonprofit that offers support services to families impacted by the disease, also raising awareness on what the disease is and how to get intervention early.
We see struggles with this in every family, in every walk of life. So it's important for your work colleagues to know, for your family members to know, for friends to know those 10 warning signs, and we have free education around that.
So while Alzheimer's isn't stopping, neither are they until a cure is finally found.
Doing stuff like this to help others, even though you've lost your loved one, is still very important.
No one wants to suffer from it. It's a horrible disease, and it puts a mental strain on family and the person suffering. So if we could find a cure, it'd be perfect.
In Pittsburgh, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
More than $13,000 was raised leading up to the walk, and a lot of that money will go towards research for a cure. And if you missed the walk but want to catch the next one, there will be another Walk to End Alzheimer's in Joplin on October 2nd. All right, it looks like those walkers had some really nice weather in Pittsburgh today. Let's talk to meteorologist Nick Kelly about the rest of the 4-state area.
Everybody had a pretty good day overall, Mike, and the numbers certainly backed it up. Started to 62, but with quite a bit of dry air in place across much of the region, a quick jump to 90 degrees this afternoon. Thankfully, most of us have been keeping dry for this evening, but because of a weak wave downstairs, or down to our south rather, it has forced a few showers to clip parts of Berry County, McDonald County, and especially areas around Table Rock Lake. But that is nothing compared to the bigger system building off to the north and west. That will come into play as we go into early next week. But in the short term, Mike, we're keeping things quiet tonight. Mostly clear, lows dropping off to 67. I see us a little cooler tomorrow with highs topping out at 88. But you already got a sneak peek at the forecast. The numbers, everyone's going to love them when we break down the rest of the forecast here in a bit.
I can't wait. Thank you, Nick. Plenty of 4-staters were out and about in Jasper, Missouri today for the one and only Jasper Days. The day started with a VFW breakfast and was followed by local shops and vendors taking over downtown. And then a grand parade featuring a marching band, plenty of floats, and folks throwing out candy for the kids. One of the groups who set up a tent was the Jasper Christian Church. They were out there raising money for the church's new playground equipment.
Pretty good. We've had actually a lot of foot traffic, so it was pretty good. A lot of people buying stuff, playing the games we had, so yeah.
And following the parade, Jasper Days featured a kids tractor pull and a kids pig scramble. Today, the Breast Cancer Foundation of the Ozarks hosted its first ever Bras at the Bridge fundraiser at the Reddings Mill Bridge just south of Joplin. KOM's Chris Warner spoke with a couple of breast cancer survivors about just how important the foundation is.
If you drove by the old Reddings Mill Bridge Saturday, you may have seen something a bit out of the ordinary. Bras lined both sides of the bridge, all for the Bras at the Bridge fundraiser. Christy Seibert is the outreach director for the foundation and says thanks to events like this, they're able to help women in need.
Well, Breast Cancer Foundation operates by local people's generous donations. We take no money from the government or the state or anything like that, so It's the only way that we operate and that we are able to help families in our area in need while they're going through breast cancer, for us to make those house payments and pay the rent and pay the utilities. So it's imperative.
Bras on one side were donated and will be given to local organizations that help women, like the Lafayette House. The other side were decorated bras set up to help raise money for the foundation. Christine Koss decorated one of the bras on display to help show her thanks.
Breast Cancer Foundation of the Ozarks helped me considerably during my cancer treatment. I was in the process of adopting 2 of my grandsons, and there was quite a bit of a financial burden at that time.
Koss says her diagnosis was a surprise.
I had a normal mammogram in March, and I was diagnosed in July of 2020. So I was just, starting to have some issues, felt some pain and things. And
Jill Childs is another breast cancer survivor who also decorated a bra for the event. Like Koss, she's grateful for the help of the Breast Cancer Foundation.
It's been very beneficial. They've been supportive and just there via email or any way that I needed to contact for questions. And they did support me some financially, which was extremely helpful.
Her diagnosis was also a surprise, and she says she had no previous signs anything was wrong.
Yeah, no, it was a surprise. Mine was found on a mammogram, and I never detected a lump or anything, so it was just a routine mammogram. I've never had an abnormal one before in my past, and I've had a whole lot of them. So, yeah, it was a surprise, and I just encourage all women to not put those not postpone those, because of COVID or any other reason, because you just don't know.
In Joplin, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
Both women say they want to emphasize the importance of getting mammograms regularly to stay ahead of any potential issues. It is now time for us to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Tonight, we recognize Ronald Swinehart Sr. of Goodman, Missouri. Ronald served as a seaman in the United States Navy and even worked at Bikini Atoll during atomic bomb testings. He earned a World War II Victory Medal and a Good Conduct Medal. Thank you, sir, for your service and for fighting for freedom. For more information on all our four-state heroes or to nominate your own, just log on to KOAMnewsnow.com.
We kept things pretty warm once again today, but most of us have managed to keep things dry for our Saturday, but changes are a-coming with a couple good waves on the way in the short term. First and foremost, Indigo Sky Casino Resort, the time-lapse outside of Seneca, Missouri, showed how everybody fared throughout much of the day. Mostly sunny, beautiful start to the day. Then afternoon, partly sunny skies. Nothing too terrible with that for the most part. Down the road, though, I want to keep a slight chance for a random storm or two, mainly areas nearest Table Rock Lake, as we wrap up the weekend on our Sunday. Still tracking better rain chances still with a stronger front. Monday and Tuesday, we'll look at the timing in a moment, but behind that front, warm but nice. We're talking about temperatures that will make it feel like fall, and appropriately so, as we kick off fall on Wednesday. 7th range line, we kept this part of the city of Joplin, pretty quiet throughout the course of the evening, and we're still looking at mostly clear skies up top as we venture deeper into the overnight. And all these quiet skies led to kind of almost a chilly start this morning. Lower to middle 60s across the entire board. A quick jump, though, was still enough dry air in place to push us back into the mid 80s by lunchtime. And a couple spots, yeah, you could argue certainly the lower 90s, especially in our far western counties, but most of us topped out in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees this afternoon, and we're still on track to drop back into the upper 60s as we continue with mostly clear skies here. Definitely an improvement after we had a couple rogue little showers or storms clip areas close to Table Rock Lake in our far southeastern counties. You can see how the bulk of that moisture kept any good rain chances still down to the south. That's not caused by anything at the surface. The big feature at the surface I want to point out, though, this cold front, that's the one that's really going to change things up as we go through early next week. Upstairs, this is the upper level low that sent a few thunderstorms around Table Rock Lake and clipping our southeastern counties. It's going to try and do it again tomorrow before we see that stronger wave out west push that front our way. And boy, we're definitely going to notice its arrival once it works on in. For the rest of the night, though, let's keep things mostly clear. Nothing to worry about for the rest of the night. Temperatures, future tracks just a touch warm. I'm thinking most of us around 67, but it's got pretty much the right idea by noon hour tomorrow. Most of us in the mid-80s to start the afternoon out and pushing back into the upper 80s. And that wave upstairs off to our south, it's going to try to bring a few isolated showers or storms around Table Rock Lake once again, but most of us will be dry to wrap up the weekend tomorrow. 67 in the morning, 83 by noon. Afternoon highs right around 88. We're quiet Sunday night going into Monday morning, but as our next front begins its approach, we'll pick up on some cloud cover. We'll go at least partly sunny for Monday. I think most of the day will be dry, but a quick jump into the lower 90s for highs before the front out west starts to fire off some thunderstorms late in the afternoon. I don't think these will be strong, but we're definitely going to expect some strong thunderstorms late Monday night going into Tuesday morning. And then this upper level low takes control and sends us feeling like fall as we get finally the fall season underway on Wednesday. The temperatures just look great once we get on the backside of that front. 88 on Sunday, 91 Monday. We'll drop to 75 for a high on Tuesday, 54 on Wednesday morning to kick off the fall season with highs around 74. Not bad for the rest of the stretch though, Mike. 77 on Thursday and back into the mid-80s by the weekend.
Thanks so much, Nick. And when we return, we've got the latest on the GABBY PETITO investigation.
Investigators looking to question the boyfriend of missing woman GABBY PETITO are now searching for him as well. I'm Charles Watson in Florida. I'll have the latest on the investigation coming up.
Welcome back. The FBI is expanding the search area for the missing woman, GABBY PETITO. And currently, her fiance, who they'd like to question, is nowhere to be found. Fox News' Charles Watson is in Northport, Florida with the latest on the investigation.
The investigation into 22-year-old GABBY PETITO's disappearance now turning into a multiple missing person case this weekend, with police unable to locate her fiancé, 23-year-old Brian Laundrie. Police in Northport, Florida, along with the FBI, paid a visit to his family's home on Friday, only to find out he wasn't there, his parents saying they hadn't seen him since Tuesday. Search crews spent Saturday looking for Brian in a nature park near Northport, where his parents say he may have gone.
We've got, 5-6 different agencies that are out there. We've got 50 plus folks. We've had drones in the air. We've got bloodhounds, canines.
The couple had been on a cross-country van trek, but only Laundrie returned on September 1st. When GABBY's family last heard from her, she was on her way to Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. Body camera video shows the two in Utah just days before GABBY went missing. Police responded to a fight between the couple, which ended with them being separated for the night. Authorities have not officially accused Laundrie of a crime, only naming him a person of interest in the case, but have not been able to speak with him since he came back from the trip without GABBY.
There's an enormous amount of pressure, I'm sure, on him to provide answers on what's going on here.
Laundrie's attorney has defended his client's silence, saying anything he tells police could be used against him. In Northport, Florida, Charles Watson, Fox News.
A vigil for GABBY PETITO took place in Northport, Florida last night. A crowd gathered to show their support with a candlelight vigil for the woman whose mysterious disappearance has made nationwide headlines. More than a dozen community members gathered at the city center front green holding signs reading "Northport loves GABBY," while others sang and spoke to the crowd. The group also took time to pray for GABBY's safe return. Still ahead, we have got more on the mistaken drone strike that killed innocent people in Kabul, Afghanistan. You'll hear what family members of the victims think about the U.S. military's acknowledgement of its deadly mistake. That's coming up. Top officials with the U.S. military are apologizing for a drone strike in Kabul last month that killed as many as 10 civilians, including 7 children. The strike was carried out to prevent what the military thought was a planned attack on the airport in Kabul. Fox News' Lucas Tomlinson has that story.
The U.S. military thought it was killing ISIS fighters and destroying a car filled with explosives on August 29th. Instead, no terrorists were killed, only civilians. The head of the U.S. military Central Command admits his forces made a tragic error.
This strike was taken in the earnest belief that it would prevent an imminent threat to our forces and the evacuees at the airport. But it was a mistake, and I offer my sincere apology.
The strike took place 3 days after 13 American troops were killed in a suicide attack at the Kabul airport. General McKenzie said at the time he anticipated more attacks. 10 innocent civilians, including 7 children, were killed in the strike. Without any friendly forces on the ground, this is what the military considers a blind strike by an American Reaper drone that had been shadowing a white Toyota Corolla in Kabul for 8 hours before firing a Hellfire missile, destroying the vehicle. Without U.S. bases in Afghanistan, these drones must fly for hours from a base in the United Arab Emirates. After the strike, President Biden touted the operation.
We have what's called over-the-horizon capabilities, which means we can strike terrorists and targets without American boots on the ground.
Days after the strike, the U.S. military's top general, Mark Milley, called it a success. General McKenzie said he knew something was wrong immediately.
We think that the procedures were correctly followed and it was a righteous strike.
We knew from the very beginning there was a possibility of civilian casualties.
Officials say there will be no disciplinary action taken against any member of the U.S. military. In Washington, Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News.
The loved ones of some of the children killed in a U.S. drone strike mistake last month in Kabul are speaking out about their loss. Fox News' Trey Yingst has their story.
Good evening. The U.S. military now admits they killed 10 civilians in Afghanistan just one day before U.S. forces left the country. This is the story of those innocent Afghans.
My daughter sleepers. It's very sad for me that when I saw it, I'm so confused. I'm so sad.
Amal Ahmadi's daughter, Malika, was killed last month in a U.S. drone strike. She was in the courtyard of this house near Kabul's airport when a Hellfire missile was fired at a car believed to be linked to ISIS-K. Yesterday, the U.S. military admitted they acted on wrong intelligence, killing 10 innocent civilians. Malika's father is glad they were proven innocent, but says no one from the United States even called to apologize.
I want for the USA that they should punish them. Why that they do this action? And also, I want for USA that they should pay compensation for us.
7 children were among the dead, 7 future members of Afghan society, young minds with dreams and desires, gone. Amal's brother, Romal, lost all 3 of his children along with other family members. He was inside the house and recalls the horrifying moments after the strike.
I ran to the car to take my nephew, and then my wife called to me to take my other nephew. Then I saw that the car was burning, and I ran to pull out my daughter. She was totally burned. Everyone was burned.
It's always gut-wrenching to speak with parents who lost children, this time at the fault of the United States. One thing that struck me about speaking with those fathers, they wanted to let the world know they were innocent despite the fact it was their family hit in that U.S. strike. In Kabul, Trey Yingst, Fox News.
We'll be right back with more news. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to your News at 9. What was once one of the biggest names in American retail sales is closing its last store in Illinois. That's the state where Sears launched its retailing empire. The Sears store, located in the Woodfield Mall in suburban Chicago, is now in its final weeks of operation. It's scheduled to be shuttered on November 14th. Sears Holdings filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection almost 3 years ago. The company also owned Kmart. Since then, Transform Co. acquired Sears and has been closing dozens of remaining Sears and Kmart locations across the country. Pennsylvania's state-run liquor system is putting the brakes on some consumer alcohol purchasing. The Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board is notifying state license holders and state stores that customers can now purchase only 2 bottles of alcohol a day. The board is placing purchase restrictions on 43 items, including champagne, bourbon, tequila, cognac, and whiskey. Restricted items will also not be available for store-to-store transfers. The board says supply chain disruptions and product shortages made the limits necessary. Bars and restaurants have also been notified of the restrictions, which could affect their business. Passwords will soon be history on some Microsoft user accounts. Microsoft is allowing consumers to drop passwords on their personal accounts. The tech giant says it is also allowing wordless sign-ins and that users can utilize Microsoft Authenticator app, Windows Hello, a security key, or a verification code which can be sent to phones for a sign-in. A Microsoft executive says that the process will be rolled out during the next few weeks. Passwordless access has already been in use in corporate accounts since March. Microsoft says users can later switch back to passwords if they prefer that security method. Stick around, we've got a lot more news headed your way, as well as another look at your weather with meteorologist Nick Kelly and your KOAM Sports Report with Sports Director Jacob Leonard. That's all coming up right here in your KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. And still to come, over in the Lone Star State, thousands of undocumented immigrants have gathered along a key entry point. That story and more are headed your way in just 2 short minutes. Welcome back. Over in the Lone Star State, thousands of undocumented immigrants have gathered along a key entry point. The numbers are staggering, and authorities are concerned about a tent city that's formed under the Del Rio Bridge. Fox News' Bill Malugin has the latest from Del Rio, Texas.
My God, look at that. From a Texas DPS helicopter, Fox News is getting an exclusive look at the deteriorating situation along the border here in Del Rio, Texas. And the footage is stunning. Close to 11,000 migrants, all crammed under the international bridge, waiting to be processed by a completely overwhelmed Border Patrol. Some already building makeshift shelters out of grass and sticks, others erecting tents. A majority of these migrants from Haiti, which has a COVID vaccination rate of under 1%. From the air, we watched as a constant stream of hundreds of people left Mexico by crossing a dam in the Rio Grande and then walked illegally into the United States. Masses of them gathering on the shore after they cross. From there, we could see a lengthy line of migrants walking a dirt path towards the international bridge, where they will join the constantly growing mass of people there. Nearby, a bulldozer clears a field, apparently making space for potential emergency shelters or maybe a processing tent. Sources on the ground sent us video showing the situation from their perspective, as hundreds of migrants cross illegally into the U.S. without any resistance on either side of the border, with more in wait on the Mexican side of the river, and it happens all day long. The Del Rio mayor, a Democrat, declaring a local state of disaster as a result.
There's people having babies down there. There's people collapsing out of the heat. It's something that it's very challenging to describe in words, but it's extremely chaotic.
And what's remarkable about the situation under the bridge right now is when you look at Wednesday, it was just about 4,000 migrants under the bridge at that time. Fast forward to today, Friday, we're now over 11,000. That's nearly a tripling in just over 48 hours. And local law enforcement and city officials say their intel is there are upwards of 10,000 more migrants heading to Del Rio, getting ready to cross illegally as we speak. Reporting in Del Rio, Texas, Bill Malugin, Fox News.
As thousands of Haitian migrants amass in the small Texas border town of Del Rio, the Texas governor signs a new bill into law that boosts funding for border security. Governor Greg Abbott signed House Bill 9 into law Friday afternoon. It will provide nearly $2 billion in additional funding that will go towards security measures at the border. This includes money that will go towards building the border wall. Governor Abbott says the money is desperately needed and that President Biden's immigration policies have led to a rise in border crossings. We'll be right back with meteorologist Nick Kelly and another look at your weather. Stay tuned.
We kept things pretty warm once again today, but most of us have managed to keep things dry for our Saturday, but changes are coming with a couple good waves on the way in the short term. First and foremost, Indigo Sky Casino Resort, a time-lapse outside of Seneca, Missouri, showed how everybody fared throughout much of the day. Mostly sunny, beautiful start to the day. Then afternoon, partly sunny skies. Nothing too terrible with that for the most part. Down the road, though, I want to keep a slight chance for a random storm or two, mainly areas nearest Table Rock Lake as we wrap up the weekend on our Sunday. Still tracking better rain chances still with a stronger front. Monday and Tuesday, we'll look at the timing in a moment, but behind that front, warm but nice. We're talking about temperatures that will make it feel like fall, and appropriately so, as we kick off fall on Wednesday. 7th range line, we kept this part of the Joplin, the city of Joplin, pretty quiet throughout the course of the evening, and we're still looking at mostly clear skies up top as we venture deeper into the overnight. And all these quiet skies led to kind of almost a chilly start this morning. Lower to middle 60s across the entire board. A quick jump, though, was still enough dry air in place to push us back into the mid 80s by lunchtime. And a couple spots, yeah, you could argue certainly the lower 90s, especially in our far western counties, but most of us topped out in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees this afternoon, and we're still on track to drop back into the upper 60s as we continue with mostly clear skies here. Definitely an improvement after we had a couple rogue little showers or storms clip areas close to Table Rock Lake in our far southeastern counties. You can see how the bulk of that moisture kept any good rain chances still down to the south. That's not caused by anything at the surface. The big feature at the surface I want to point out, though, this cold front, that's the one that's really going to change things up as we go through early next week. Upstairs, this is the upper level low that sent a few thunderstorms around Table Rock Lake and clipping our southeastern counties. It's going to try and do it again tomorrow before we see that stronger wave out west push that front our way. And boy, we're definitely going to notice its arrival once it works on in. For the rest of the night, though, let's keep things mostly clear. Nothing to worry about for the rest of the night. Temperatures, future tracks just a touch warm. I'm thinking most of us around 67, but it's got pretty much the right idea by noon hour tomorrow. Most of us in the mid-80s to start the afternoon out and pushing back into the upper 80s. And that wave upstairs off to our south, it's going to try to bring a few isolated showers or storms around Table Rock Lake once again, but most of us will be dry to wrap up the weekend tomorrow. 67 in the morning, 83 by noon. Afternoon highs right around 88. We're quiet Sunday night going into Monday morning, but as our next front begins its approach, we'll pick up on some cloud cover. We'll go at least partly sunny for Monday. I think most of the day will be dry, but a quick jump into the lower 90s for highs before the front out west starts to fire off some thunderstorms late in the afternoon. I don't think these will be strong, but we're definitely going to expect some strong thunderstorms late Monday night going into Tuesday morning. And then this upper level low takes control and sends us feeling like fall as we get finally the fall season underway on Wednesday. The temperatures just look great once we get on the back side of that front. 88 on Sunday, 91 Monday. We'll drop to 75 for a high on Tuesday, 54 on Wednesday morning to kick off the fall season with highs around 74. Not bad for the rest of the stretch though, Mike. 77 on Thursday and back into the mid 80s by the weekend.
Well, thanks again, Nick, and stay tuned, sports fans. We'll be right back with Jacob Leonard and your KOAM News at 9 Sports Report.
Both the Pittsburg State Gorillas and Missouri Southern Lions are in action tonight in Week 3 of the MIAA season. Now, Pittsburg State starts first, hitting the field against Northeastern State. And both of these teams 1-1 coming into the day. The Gorillas run away with it tonight, 48-13. Quarterback Max Sexton throws a pair of touchdowns. Tyler Atkins rushes for a score, while Caleb Lewis runs in for 2 more. Pitt State's now 2-1 and will host Emporia State next Saturday. As for Missouri Southern, they're also on the road facing Central Oklahoma tonight. Exciting win here for the Lions. Quarterback Dawson Hurl finds Brian Boyd in the last minute for a 54-yard touchdown. Gives Missouri Southern a 14-10 victory, their first MIAA win under head coach Atiba Bradley. Division I here, old rivalry matchup between Oklahoma and Nebraska. Pick it up in the third quarter. Spencer Rattler finds Jeremiah Hall all alone in the end zone. Sooners lead 14-3. Later in the quarter, Adrian Martinez narrows the Sooners lead, gets in from 4 yards out. In the final 15 minutes of play here, Sooners going down the field. Rattler gets to the outside, picks up a first down and a little bit more. And then Kennedy Brooks goes up the middle for the score. That increases the OU lead to 23-9. The play of the game, though, right here. Nebraska on 4th down. Martinez going to the end zone. Check out DJ Graham doing it with one hand. No doubt the best play you'll see tonight. Oklahoma gets the win today, 23-16. Well, Pittsburg State and Missouri Southern volleyball meet for an early season rivalry match today. Now, the Gorillas have been on fire to start the season, going 7-2 in their first 9, including winning 6 straight coming into the weekend. Now, the Lions host PSU today, hoping to cool off the Gorillas and earn their first MIAA win. The Southern rolling in the first set, Armeni Perales finds the back line for the kill. Then Cece Pollard with a little power behind it. Lions take the first set 25-17. The Gorillas, though, really get going in the second. Meg Otten finds the soft spot there. 16 kills today for Otten. Second set was tight, 23-all. Claire Sandvig finishes it for Pittsburg State. Gorillas would take the second set 25-23 to make it 1-1. Hope White, big day for PSU, ties Otten for a team-high 16 kills today. Gorillas take the third set 25-15. They would turn around and take the fourth 2. Pitt State takes the final 3 sets to win 3-1. Their 7th consecutive win.
Our kids are able to battle when they need to, and I was really proud of the fact that they were just able to work hard and work themselves out of a tough situation. And we've been talking about trying to just find a way to win sometimes, even when we're not really in a good rhythm. And I think I'm really just most proud of the fact that they just found a way to battle out of it.
Well, today is the 31st annual Missouri Southern Stampede in Joplin. It's a big day for both Pitt State and Missouri Southern. Our own Danny Terzer was up early and has more on today's event.
First to race are the women. Teams from 26 schools are competing today. Pitt State finishes 9th as a team, while the Missouri Southern women place 17th. On the men's side, Missouri Southern athletes lock up the first and second place spots. Ryan Riddle wins the individual title, finishing the 8K race in 24 minutes, 14 seconds.
The last mile, I just really started to kick it in. Heard a lot of the home crowd screaming for me, so I was trying to do it for them and get a dub.
Also in the top 5 is Pittsburgh State's Bryce Grawn. He places 4th with a personal best time of 24 minutes, 39.88 seconds.
The best feeling was when I crossed and I turned around and I saw Diego Contreras come in, and I just kept seeing Pitt jerseys, and about that time I figured we had won it when I just saw 5 boys laying around on the ground. I said we had it done.
Grawn's finish helps lift Pittsburgh State to a team victory. The Gorilla men win the MSSU Stampede with a score of 53 points.
It's special to run for Pitt, but it's even more special to win for Pitt. And so tonight to come out, or I guess this morning to come out and do our thing, it's really euphoric right now.
Right behind them is Missouri Southern. The Lions placed 2nd as a team with 74 points.
These are all younger guys too, stepping up huge for us. So just seeing them progress throughout these last couple of years and the new guys doing so well early on is great. It's going to be really great for our team later on.
In Joplin, Danny Terzer, KOAM Sports.
That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Welcome back to your KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. And it's time for a sneak peek at what's coming soon to Fox. Here is the Fox Entertainment All-Stars with a look at the new series, The Big Leap.
I'm Fox Entertainment All-Star Jake Hamilton. The lives of total strangers are all about to change in the new series, The Big Leap. We spoke with 2 of the stars about the new Fox show about chasing your dreams, no matter what it takes.
It's a dance reality show. It's called The Big Leap.
Is there a rose?
Why would there be a rose?
I just think it'd be nice if you met someone.
The new Fox series, The Big Leap, is all about taking a chance in life. The series, a hip modern remake of Swan Lake, tells the story of a group of strangers all competing to be a part of a competition reality series.
We're looking for personality. And crazy's not necessarily a bad thing.
Next. We spoke with the stars Simone Kastner and Terry Polo about betting on yourself and how the series theme of taking a chance is more than just a story for the show, it's a story of their lives.
This show, to me personally, frankly, it's tied up in the fact that I booked the job, and this is my first big project. This is my first TV job. This is my first job on a national scale. So it's that itself, and the story within it, the character I play is also taking a big, massive jump in her life. So within that, there's a lot of a show within a show within a show, even on our own set.
If you're the one who gets lifted, you're like the best one, the smallest one, the one that gets everything. It's just not me.
The show tackles the tough decisions we all face in life in order to pursue our dreams. But for Terry, sometimes there's value in dreams that don't come true.
When I was at 16, a prima ballerina led me to believe that this thing was going to happen. It didn't happen, and I was devastated because at that age, you have blinders on. This is the only school I can go to. This is the only school in the United States of America. And so I decided to get into acting. What if I had made a different decision at that point? But here it is. It's so incredibly serendipitous that not only do I get to dance, but I get to act well.
The show is currently still in production. We actually spoke with them from their trailers on the set. And filming a show like this is, to say the least, no easy feat in the time of a pandemic.
We all have on masks. It is a bit intimidating when you as an actor have to do the scene and you have to take off your mask, or when we're dancing. We rehearse with our masks on and we dance with our masks on, and then only at the very end, when we're going to do a take, do we take our masks off. They're taking such incredibly responsible precautions.
The series premiere of The Big Leap is this Monday, September 20th, only on Fox. For the Fox Entertainment All-Stars, I'm Jake Hamilton.
A lot of people in Paris held their breath today as a daredevil walked a tightrope between the Eiffel Tower and Trocadero Square. Nathan Pauline, a famous tightrope artist from France, gingerly put one foot ahead of the other along more than 1,900 feet on a tightrope 230 feet above the crowds. He made his way along a strip of rope that was just 1 inch wide. Thousands of people watched him as he started walking from the first floor of the tower to a theater roof beside Trocadero Square. He stopped several times to perform extra stunts for the crowd. Afterwards, Pauline described the experience as a bit of a dream. He said he was happy that he could share that dream with so many people. Classical music could be heard along one of the famous canals in Italy. A string quartet played Vivaldi on a giant violin floating down the Venice Canal. I've had that violin on this show before. I like it. The unique gondola of sorts was built as a tribute to COVID-19 victims. It launched today after a few successful trial runs. The musicians delighted onlookers with their beautiful music on the floating instrument named Violin of Noah. It was built by a woodcarver during the pandemic to symbolize the rebirth of the iconic city. We are not done yet here on your KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. And when we return, you'll learn about a shocking discovery that the Las Vegas police recently made when they found 30 boa constrictors in a neighborhood home. That story and more. Welcome back. Las Vegas police made a shocking discovery after they found 30 boa constrictors in a neighborhood home. Fox News' Lauren Martinez has that story.
Las Vegas police found 30 boa constrictor snakes in one Southern Highlands home.
That's very scary. I mean, who knows what could happen, these snakes get out.
Metro says off Benezet Court, detectives were in the area on a follow-up case when they found the animals.
I mean, how do you keep 30 snakes in a home?
At Las Vegas Fish and Reptiles, store manager Jeremiah King says they have about 20 boas at their store.
It's not really about how many snakes you have, it's about how much care is being put into them,
King estimates the cost of care for one boa could range from $20 to $40 a week for food, depending on size.
I know feeding for snakes, it's about weekly. You feed a bigger snake about once a week, even bigger snakes about maybe once every 2 weeks. That's not the hardest part. The hardest part would basically being basic care, like water, hiding, food, different things like that.
Boas can range in size. The smaller ones, 2 to 3 feet. The bigger ones, 8 to 12 feet. This jungle blood boa will be 6 to 8 feet long.
Snakes are really, really smart animals. They're kind of really understood. These guys will take any opportunity they can to get out, explore the world, explore your house, do whatever.
These active escape artists can cost anywhere from $150 to $5,000. Clark County Code says the home they found the 30 boas in had appropriate cages. No criminal charges were made.
Boas are one of these smarter snakes in the world. These guys like to get into everything. They're very, very strong, super duper resilient. And like I said, just one of the more people-friendly snakes out there. I can understand why some people want to have a lot of these dudes, but 30 is quite a bit.
Hey, check out this baby porcupine, also known as a porcupet, enjoying its new enclosure at the London Zoo. The little guy is called Herbie and was born back in early August. This video shows the nocturnal youngster exploring its home alongside its parents. The zoo says baby porcupines are born with a full set of soft quills and weigh less than a pound. The porcupet's gender has yet to be determined. And here's a good story to wrap the show on. A stranded baby killer whale has been rescued in Russia. The poor guy got stuck following a low tide in the eastern region of the country. Russian state TV showed rescuers and volunteers working for hours and pouring water on the animal to keep it wet until the tide rose high enough for the whale to swim back home. Pretty nice of those guys. Hey, well, thanks so much for stopping by on this Saturday. We will see you tomorrow for more KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Have a great night. Stay safe out there.